one of our missions was to be so like for this to be something that brought us together and social. And so we had this crazy opportunity to invest in a racehorse a couple of years ago, and
That's different.
we did, right. We had just sold one of our homes. We were kind of celebrating, and this unique opportunity to work with this trainer came up, and we caught lightning in a bottle. Smaverless was one of the top earning racehorses in 2017. And so, like, just to give you an idea of kind of where we're coming from, again,
Yeah.
probably not that hardcore real estate investor that you're used to talking to, but real estate has enabled us to kind of have that lifestyle.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. Like I like a story like that is just like I've always said it. Even Chris and I were texting last night. Real estate investing is great, but there's other opportunities that can come from it. And someone brought that idea to me. My best friend, his dad was a trainer for the Phipps, so they had a ton of racehorses. And I remember one day I was much younger, and he was like, he's definitely going to win today. You should put money on it. So like 6 of us ran to the OTB, bet on it. We lost everything, but it was like, if that opportunity came now, it's like, oh, you could buy a piece of this horse. I'd be like, let's do it. Like, it's just a cool thing that it's like you said, coming together, hanging out, networking, going on vacation and talking about it. Like, that's the stuff that should be the core behind an investment group or working together with people. It shouldn't, yes, making good returns is great, but the stories that come from little things like that, I think is just super cool.
Right on, John. No, man, that's our experience. And we got lucky, and we tried to follow it up again with another one, and it didn't work out as well. But, nonetheless, coming together, watching the horse race, and was just a blast. And like the conversations that happened as a part of that led to other business opportunities. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, Chris, but
you got the first part. I think it's really interesting because you're in a lot of different things. How has the effect of the whole pandemic been hitting you guys? And, have you any measures? And also don't discount yourself either. We've had tons of different levels of people. So I'm really curious to hear, from, the most sophisticated to the least of what people are doing and seeing and stuff like that, because, your one insight could help us, could help somebody else listening. So, the more you can share, the better.
I think first off, we are, really glad to continue to accumulate capital. Whatever shakes out here, we feel like we're going to be in a really nice position to capitalize on deals in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. And then, we're still seeing how this is going to impact, like I mentioned, the property across from Ohio State. It's primarily students, undergrads and graduate students. I mean, they already canceled the summer. They're going to be quite possibly canceling in the fall. So we're reeling there and trying to figure out what this means for our business. And I don't really have answers for it right now. But I'd say the biggest thing that we're doing is just continuing to put away capital, knowing that opportunities are going to come. I mean, no truer words have ever been said. From change comes opportunity, and man, this is pretty heavy change that we're going through. The world's going to look different, ongoing. We'll come out of this financially in terms of the economy and stuff, and who knows how long. And there'll be opportunity there. But, how people just view the world and how we interact with each other and everything else is all changing. So there's opportunity developing from just the change.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Thank you. Just going back to what you were talking about with like the racehorse and stuff, I think it's interesting, that mindset of, it almost sounded like you guys said, hey, we're quote unquote investing, but we know this is a, high risk, high reward, but we're almost doing it more for like the social aspect or, the possibility and like the, the potential of what it leads to more. And I can see that being like a really popular mindset with like the upper echelon of society, the ultra rich and stuff like that, where they're like, hey, we'll invest $100,000 in this thing because, me and my 5 buddies are doing it. We'll like talking about it and maybe it works out. I definitely don't think that's a mindset that's trickled down into the rest of society. One, I think by necessity, right? It's tough to, the part of the fun is having some skin in the game. And if you are just trying to save everything you can to provide for yourself later on in the future, I don't know if it's necessarily possible. But I think it's interesting to hear, and I'm curious to see if that's something that will continue to come down the pipeline as we've seen other things in the past that haven't been available, like commercial real estate, like, syndications, probably like, investing in racehorses and stuff like that. I'm curious if that mindset and opportunities like that will trickle down, and maybe there's a Tribe Vest, sister company for opportunities like that. I don't know, but I think that's interesting.
I mean, and people are using the platform for, 85% of our tribes are doing it for real estate, but there's the other 15% that are doing it for experiences or some type of alternative. And you nailed it. I mean, hey, we shouldn't be calling a racehorse an investment anyway, any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting, like the democratizing of things that were inaccessible to the rest of us is happening. When my brothers and I started our tribe 12 years ago, no way in hell did we think that we would ever be investing in. People like us don't invest in real estate, but it was real estate that put us in a position to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, just connecting some dots here that I think you connected, is, the same, there is a thrill about real estate too. It's not minute 30 watching a horse go around the track, but I think most of us that are in it for a little bit of that thrill, knowing that there is a risk element, and it's a challenge, it's a chess match, and there's a resilience that needs to come with it if you're going to be successful. And I don't mean to get too philosophical, but that's our human instinct, right? Like there's something that we need that scratches that itch or helps us, that we're yearning for something, right? We want to, what were we doing 300 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were surviving. And there's an element of that when we're without a net working on real estate.
No, I think it's definitely comparable. I mean, definitely for me, doing a deal with, we're in a deal in Jacksonville where it's me, John, my cousin, my mom, and a friend of all of ours, Tom. And it's exciting to see like the property, come along and have those conversations and stuff like that. And, now we're in a position where we're under contract to sell. Who knows if it sells or not. But it's exciting to have like that conversation with my cousin, with my mom, John, I talk to every day. He's irrelevant, but, with Tom, and it's, things like that, where it's just a way to stay connected and a talking point of like, that's how you touch base, but then you go on to, how's the family and how's this and how's that and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's important. And, I'm really looking forward to, when this property does go full cycle, whether it's in, 2 weeks or in 2 years, to kind of sit down and regroup and cap with everyone. And, hopefully we get together and do a dinner or a drink and just kind of celebrate what it was. And, it's definitely a slower burn than a racehorse, but, I don't think any less exciting because of it.
Yes. I mean, what do they say? I'm reading a book called Hacking the American Mind. And he points out that pleasure is something you experience on your own, and happiness is something you can only experience with others. And, that's what you got, whether it's next week or a year from now, like that's fun as hell when you celebrate, that investment coming full circle. And yeah, there was risk there that you put into it, not just financial, but your relationship risk too, right? And so, but as long as you go in knowing that, and the other thing that just hit me as you were talking, Chris, was, we didn't invent tribe investing. Right? Like we've been thriving and surviving as tribes since the beginning of time, and you, John, and uh, the rest of your tribe that are in this current deal is evidence of that. So we didn't invent tribe investing. We're just hoping that we make it 10 times easier and take the pressure off on the relationship side, so that more people do it.